There was a time I felt invincible on dating apps. No matches, no replies. I thought maybe I just wasn't attractive enough, tall enough, or even good enough. And I was this close to giving up. But what changed everything for me wasn't some lame generic advice like just smile more. It was real, uncomfortable facts that no one will tell you. And in this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 reasons why you're not getting any matches, and I'll tell you exactly how to fix them. That way you get more matches and ultimately leads you to more hot dates. Let's jump right into it. Okay, reason number 1, sending way too many likes. Now, I used to be that guy where I used to swipe right like nonstop because I thought that was going to get me a lot more matches. And logically, it makes sense, right? Like the more likes you send, the more matches you're going to get. But that was not the case for me at all. Now, let me give you a bit of an analogy here that's going to make perfect sense, and it's going to be an aha moment for you. Now, Instagram and Facebook, I don't know if you've noticed the last like 5-10 years or not, but the reach has gone down a lot, right? Let's say you posted something like 7 years ago, you probably got a lot of like likes and comments from your friends, your followers, etc. But now if you post something, even though you have more followers, you're probably getting less engagement. And your engagement especially goes down especially I should say, if you post, let's say, in the first hour or so, but you don't get a lot of likes or comments right away. It's essentially going to signal to the algorithm that your post really isn't good, and it's not going to show it to more people. But on the other end, let's say if you post something and it's good the first hour, so you're getting like lots of comments, shares, likes, etc., etc. It's going to tell Instagram that your post is good, and it's going to show it to more people, and your likes and comments are going to start flooding in. Think of this same thing now for your dating profile. What do you think it's going to tell the dating profile algorithm? Because there is an algorithm just like Facebook and Instagram. What do you think is going to happen if you're sending endless likes, but you're basically getting no likes in return? It's essentially going to tell the algorithm that your dating profile isn't good, and it's not going to push it out to more girls, right? Like, does that make sense? So you want to be very strategic in terms of how many likes you send, and you really only want to send it to girls that you have a very good interest in, because if you're just swiping right nonstop and you aren't getting a lot of likes in return, goes back to Instagram, Facebook analogy, it's just going to tell the algorithm it's not worthy of pushing out your profile. So you might think you're getting ghosted by girls left, right, and center, but in reality, they're probably not even seeing your profile a lot of the times. So your big takeaway, which will really set up the most majority of the video, try to be strategic in terms of how many likes you send and really zero in on the girl that you are interested in. Because if you just send likes nonstop, it's going to tell the algorithm that your profile basically sucks, and it's going to lead to basically 0 matches. Okay, reason number 2, and this is going to tie into reason number 1 a little bit, but reason number 2 is going to be setting your kilometers way too broad. So I'm Canadian, I use kilometers, but if you're American, of course, it would of course use miles. So what I mean by that is, like, when I first started joining the apps, I used to think like the more people I can connect with, the better it's going to be. Again, kind of tying to point number 1 a little bit. So I would really set my kilometer radius in terms of getting matches, so like 50, 75. And I think at one point I had 100 kilometers, which is pretty damn far. That's about like 60 miles, give or take. I don't know off the top of my head. And even the odd match I did get, like, she would live like 45 minutes away, and it was almost impossible leading to a date, because ultimately that's the name of the game. Like, you want matches, but you want dates, right? Now, think of this from like a girl's perspective. If you're not sure by now, there's like a 2-to-1 guy to girl ratio on the apps, and for Tinder, it's probably even closer to 3-to-1. So if a girl sees you, let's say you're even a good-looking guy even, but she sees that you're like 50 kilometers away or 75 kilometers away, who do you think she's going to match with? The guy who's like 60 kilometers away, or the guy who's like 5 to 10 kilometers away? Probably the guy who's a close distance, right? Because I hate to break it to you, she's going to shitload of likes, so she can be very selective in terms of who she matches with. So your big takeaway here is try to really narrow down your kilometers, which again kind of ties back to point number 1 in terms of stop sending likes to everyone, stop trying to be so broad. And when I made the change from setting my radius to 25 kilometers and under, I actually got more dates. And again, you're probably thinking, like, how does that happen? But again, the more specific you can be, the better it's going to be, because girls get this shitload of likes. So you got to make sure that you're in her radius, because ultimately she wants dates. She doesn't want like a pen pal. And I'm assuming you want dates as well. So your big takeaway, set your kilometers to even 25 kilometers or under to be more specific, and it should land you more matches and even more qualified matches that's going to lead to more dates. Okay, reason number 3 is going to be having a generic profile. So now that you know that the girls have the power on the app, because there's basically a 2-to-1 or even 3-to-1 guy to girl ratio, what guy do you think a girl is going to match with? A very generic profile or something that really pops for them? Think about yourself, right? Like if you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, if you're kind of ripping through reels, you're probably scrolling pretty nonstop, right? It's kind of like swipe, swipe, swipe. But if you see like a hook or something that captures your attention, you stop, you look at it, and you probably watch a good amount of the video, if not the full video. Well, when it comes to girls on the dating apps, if they just take a very generic profile that doesn't really pop for them, then they're not going to spend too much time on their profile, and they're going to swipe left and then move on to the next guy. And that was a mistake I used to make. Like I was super generic and it got me basically no matches. And then I really started tapping into being a little more bold. And I made a full video in terms of really niching down. I'll link that at the end that you can watch. It's really good. But I really tapped into, okay, I'm gonna really show off my sense of humor and be a little more bold, and even my physique. Because like that's one thing I do have is a good physique. I'm not showing off my height because I'm like 5'8", so that's not what I'm doing. But when I really started showing off my physique and some more bold jokes on my profile, it would usually stop the scroll for the girls, right? And I got a lot more matches. So your big takeaway here is try to have something bold on your profile because you want to do something that's going to stop the scroll. And like I said, if you don't believe me, go on Instagram, go through reels. If you see something boring and generic, you're going to rip right through it. If you find something that's going to pop and capture your attention, you're going to watch it. It's the exact same thing when it comes to girls. So do something that's unique on your profile, be bold, and stand out. Reason number 4, not talking to girls that you match with. Now, this kind of goes back to the algorithm. And now let's say you've done the first 3 things that I've talked about and you're starting to get some matches, which is super exciting, right? But the worst thing you can do is get matches and not talk to them. Because number 1, it can basically signal to the algorithm that you're a bot, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but there's a shitload of fake profiles and bots out there, and that's not what you want. But think this way, and most importantly, now let's say you're going fishing. Like let's say you're on a boat, you're going fishing, you're taking it out. When you go fishing, right, like there's fish obviously in the ocean. You don't know exactly where they are though. So let's say you kind of put out the fishing rod, you're fishing, and you're hoping for the best. At least that's what I do. I'm a pretty shit fisherman. But now let's say you put chum in the water. I think it's illegal now, but kind of bear with me here. Let's say you put chum in the water. What's going to happen to the fish? The fish are basically going to swarm the boat, and you have tons of fish around you, and you have a better chance of reeling the fish in, right? Well, it's the same thing now when it comes to the algorithm. If you start talking to girls that you match with, and I'll tell you how to do one-liners on a separate video that I can link above here, but if you start talking to the girls and getting conversations going, it's going to be like the chum in the water for you. It's going to signal to the algorithm that you're active, and when that happens, the algorithm is going to start pushing out your profile to more girls. Now, I used to make the mistake where I matched with the girls and not talk to them. But when I started talking to girls, even though it wasn't like, vastly interested in them, like worst case scenario, you have like a pen pal. When I started doing that, I started getting like 10 to 20 likes a day sometimes, like no joke, especially on Tinder, maybe not as much as Bumble. So your big takeaway here is when you get a match, like when you do the first 3 things I talked about in the video, when you start getting matches, talk to every single girl you can, because if you do, it's going to basically show your profile more to other girls, and the dating algorithm loves that you're talking to girls and you're active on the app. And if you do that, I guarantee it's going to lead to more matches and more dates. Reason number 5, having self-limiting beliefs about getting dates. Now, this is probably the biggest thing that's holding you back, but you probably don't even know it because it's deep in your mind. To give you an example, I'm a men's fat loss coach and like body transformation coach in terms of adding muscle. And when someone inquires about my program, but I ask them some questions and I can tell they're really not that interested and they really don't believe that they can change their body, I simply won't accept them in my program, even if they want to give me money, because I know for a fact I've done this long enough that if they don't believe they can truly do it and truly change, then they're not going to get the result that they're looking for. So if you have that same mindset on the apps, like I'm not tall enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not good enough, girls only want to be with like tall, rich, and famous guys. If you have those self-limiting beliefs, because they are self-limiting beliefs, even though you might be pissed at me for saying that, it's going to reflect on your profile, so on how you make your profile, and then it's going to reflect on the girls that you do match with and do talk with, because you're going to expect failure and you're going to expect something wrong to happen. And if you have that negative mindset, girls can pick up on that big time. So your big takeaway is you have to believe that you're going to get matches and you're going to get dates no matter how grim it might be and no matter how many times that you got rejected. Like, do you know how many times like I got like no matches for a long time? How many times I failed my life? But like I push it aside. I keep going no matter what. And if you have that mindset, you're going to break through. It's that simple, because if you don't believe you can do it because you have self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back, then that's ultimately going to reflect on your profile. And like I said, how you talk to girls when you do get those matches. So believe you can do it. And I promise you, it's going to change everything for you. Even though you might not even realize it, deep down subconsciously, it plays a much bigger role than you probably think. Now, I go into a lot more detail in terms of like what to expect dating apps, how to talk to girls, how to get more dates, everything. So I'm going to link that for you right now. And if you enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. I'm out right now though. The Zin's kicking in. It feels good. Time to eat lunch. Let's get you guys matches. Let's get you hot dates. I'll see you in this video. Drop any questions that you may have, and I got your back to get you more matches and more hot dates. Thanks, guys.